Morning, how are you? Today I'm going to take a change because I'm preparing a comprehension lesson for someone's house. We're doing The Boy in the Dress by David Walliams. I think he is my favourite children's author at the moment. A couple of years ago when I first started tutoring, I was doing Skellig with someone and I found this list of resources and it's completely changed how I do comprehension. Rather than it always being read a bit, answer a question, and a bit stuffy, what that taught me was if there's a descriptive paragraph, ask the child to draw it rather than write about it, and be a lot more creative with the way you ask the child to interact with the book. And so we are up to page 176. So as I come up with ideas today, I'll hopefully be able to show the different type of things that the type of thing that I mean. This is with chapter 16. Just in case you don't know the book, to explain what's happened so far, the boy Dennis has made friends with a girl during detention called Lisa, and they're both very much into fashion. She persuades him to try on a dress that she's been making, and he looks great in it. So they then go out into the local newsagent, and the chap doesn't recognise him, and they think, oh, this is great. And then another lad from their school comes up and again doesn't recognise him as Dennis. They're calling him Denise. And so they thought it'd be really funny if he tried to go spend the day in school dressed as a girl, as her French exchange student. And to cut a long story short, he gets caught out and he's just been expelled for being dressed in school as a girl. So it wasn't until the weekend that Dennis was allowed out of the house. Dad had locked the computer away in the cupboard and Dennis was forbidden to watch the television, so he'd missed a couple of episodes of Trisha. Finally, on Saturday morning, Dad relented and Dennis was let out for the day. He wanted to go round to Darvesh's flat to wish him luck for the final. On the way, he stopped off at Raj's to get something to eat. He only had 13p to spend as his pocket money had been frozen indefinitely. Raj greeted him as warmly as he always did. "Ah, my favourite customer," exclaimed Raj. "Hi, Raj," said Dennis mutely. "Have you got anything for 13p? Let me think. Half a chomp bar." Dennis smiled. It was the first time he had smiled in a week. "To see you smile, Dennis. Lisa told me what happened at school. I'm very sorry." "Thanks, Raj. I must say you had me fooled, though. Very good you look, Dennis." I mean, being expelled for putting on a dress. It's absurd. You haven't done anything wrong, Dennis. You mustn't be made to feel like you have." "Thanks, Raj. Please help yourself to some free confectionery." "Wow, thanks." Dennis's eyes lit up to the value of 22p. Okay, so page 177. What I think I'm going to do is, I know this young girl likes doing word searches, so I'm going to ask her to create a word search. Sorry about that, I was interrupted. So page 177, I'm going to ask her to create a word search of words you could use to describe how Raj responds to what Dennis and Lisa did. And then on page 179, it talks about how his best friend responds. And it says, "You're still my mate, with or without the dress. How many words can you get from this sentence?" So basically, using the letters within that sentence, you have to try and make smaller words. So you might go T, you might take the T from here, the E from here, and an A from there. So you've got T, or you could even put the M on the end as well and have team. And so it's the person that can get the most words. We may not always do all these, it depends how the reading's going, but sometimes if they're tired or whatever and it just seems a lot of effort, these are good ways of breaking up the reading. On page 181, Darvesh's mum responds to what Dennis did by saying, "Oh, Dennis," she said, "what a terrible thing to do." Dennis paled. "I mean, orange really is not your colour, Dennis," she continued. "With your light hair, you would probably look better in a pastel colour like pink or baby blue." So what I think I'm going to do for the end of this chapter is page 182. Sorry, typing with one hand, it never works very well. Create an A to Z of colours. So basically, write down the side of a piece of paper, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc. And then you have to try and think of one colour starting with every letter of the alphabet. And I'm also going to do page 182. How do you think Dennis is feeling now? In this chapter, it's talking about the football final that Dennis is supposed to be playing because he's the star player. And I think what I'm going to do is it talks about how the other team plays dirty. So, create a poster of dirty tricks used by the opposing team. And then at the end of the chapter, Lisa says to Mac, "Come on, Mac," said Lisa bossily, "I need a hand." "Where are we going, guys?" asked Dennis. "You'll see," replied Lisa with a wink. She marched off across the playing field with Mac trailing behind. Dennis closed his eyes, he couldn't watch any more. I think what I'm going to do for this is page 189. What do you think Lisa's going to do? Oops, you think Lisa is going to do? And then we can move on to chapter 18. I won't go on any more with this book with you, I'll carry on creating it by myself, but some of the best, in the Twits, there's a chapter at the beginning of the book where there's a description of Mr. Twit, and it talks about what he looks like. So the task I would do for that chapter, the much, much shorter chapters, is ask them to draw a picture of Mr. Twit and annotate it. In the next chapter, it talks about all the different things he's got stuck in his beard. So what I do is I take those things, there's scrambled eggs, there's, I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's a whole range of things. Fish fingers, I think, tin sardines. Take the letters and rearrange them to make them into anagrams, and then the person I'm working with has to try and, using the Scrabble letters if they like, to help them rearrange the letters to make to work out what the words are. If they need to, they can use the book for support. But it's surprising how creative you can be with something that can be quite a mundane task. So I hope this has given you some inspiration as well, because I know when I first saw that stack of resources for the Skellig book, I really did transform my idea of how to do things, and I hope this has given you some food for thought as well. Have a really good afternoon. I I start really early today and finish quite late, so I'm going to crack on with this, and I shall see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.